All right, it's noon, so I'll go ahead and get started. My name is Michelle Morris, and I am with Consolidated Planning Group. We have several panelists with us today, and we're very excited that you're all here. I see Charlene has joined us. Charlene, I just made you a panelist as well. I want everybody to know that because we're in webinar mode, we cannot see you or hear you, but we know you're out there and we know that you might have some questions. So please feel free to put your questions and comments into the chat box. We'll get to them as much as we can. Our panelists have agreed to answer your questions in the chat. And then if you have a specific question while they're speaking, I will monitor the chat box and let them know that there's a question specifically for them. We are recording this webinar. We always record our webinars, and we'll send it out later on today along with the slides. So any clickable links, you'll be able to click those when you see the slides later on. I want to thank you all, panelists and guests alike, for being here with us today so we can spread awareness and education. Consolidated Planning Group, the company that I'm with, we are a holistic financial planning firm that focuses on helping families with special needs loved ones that they have to care for. When you're thinking about your retirement and maybe a spouse's retirement, you have to save the whole time that you're working to be able to pay for a good retirement for yourself and your spouse. When you have a loved one who is not going to be able to work and who might need care once they're gone because they can't be independent, it can be another bucket of money that needs to be about as large as a retirement. So that's what we help with. We have over 30 years of experience with insurance and financial services. We are members of the $1 Million Roundtable, which might not mean much to you, but we worked really hard for that industry recognition. And it really just means that a lot of families trust us with their finances. We are also members of the Special Needs Planning Academy, and we are nationally certified Social Security advisors. So families come to us often for things like protection plans, lifetime care plans, figuring out the cost of that care throughout their child's life, transition planning, ABLE accounts, and of course, advocacy. There are over 263,000 financial advisors in the United States, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 263,000. And out of those, fewer than 200 financial advisors, not 200,000, just 200, focus on special needs planning. That is fewer than 0.1% of all financial advisors in the United States focusing on special needs issues. So you are definitely in the right place with us. So today we are talking about schools for children with special needs. The first one that we have to present to you is the Williams School. They could not send a representative to be here with us today, so I'm just going to go over their slide. And then for schools where we do have a representative, they're going to talk about their school. I'm giving everybody about 8 or 9 minutes, maybe 10 minutes max. They certainly don't need to take all that time. But again, if you have questions, please put them in the chat box. So the Williams School is located in Missouri City. All of their information is there. They're doing business as Homeschool Academy. And let me go ahead and delete the spam messages from our chat here. They're doing business as Homeschool Academy. They're on Lexington Boulevard right there in Missouri City. Their motto is that all children can learn. The tuition is $13.50 a month, and they go for 9 months. So, a typical school year. They have grades K through 12, and they help students who might need more one-on-one attention. Okay, so right there on Lexington in Missouri City. True Night Academy is next, and we have Charlene with us to tell us about True Night Academy. Charlene?
Thanks. So True Night Academy has 3 different parts to their program. We just added a 4th. I'll explain what happens in September. We have a regular day school that addresses ages 5 to 22. Our disabilities are extremely broad. We are faith-based, and so we believe that it has to be a fit in all of this. We are also based on an integrated neuroplasticity model. So an integrated ABA plus the neuroplasticity. So all of our teachers are registered behavior technicians. We also are involved in the first hour of the Children's Day is all about brain training activities. We are adding a second new portion in the fall. We have partnered with a brilliant foundation, which will do an assessment and literally target the neurophysio movement part of our program. We use a BECA as our foundational curriculum. So that is basically, it's workbook driven, and it gives the teachers a scope and sequence of their work. And then everything else from there is modified and added to. It just gives us our baseline. We've also lined up a BECA scope and sequence with the TEAC, so that when kids do transfer back into maybe a public setting, that we've been able to line everything up. Any of the diagnoses are fine for us, depending, and again, it's about the fit. And our ratios will run anywhere from a 1-on-1 to a 1-on-6. Tuition is based on that level of need. We accept some insurances. We've just opened True Night Therapies, which is True Night Academy is a nonprofit organization. True Night Therapies is the for-profit part. We've done that specifically to help parents get that extra funding when most of their day is not in the academic world. They would pay for their academic piece, but the ABA piece of it would be covered by some insurances. Be aware that that little world has been in upheaval since COVID, and we've had all our applications in up to 4 times with I don't know, 15, 20 different agencies. And so we have right now we're very limited on what insurances we can accept. We're still onboarding. It's a 2 to 3 year process right now to onboard an insurance company. I think
Well, you mentioned on your page here that scholarships are available. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
So we actually do not do any personal scholarshiping within our organization. So we have ACE scholarship, ACE scholarship, and theirs is closed for this time of the year. They will award $5,000, of which some of our families get that scholarship. Hope for 3 also will give up to a $5,000 scholarship. What we've done at True Night is we've tried to keep the tuition based on that level of need as low as possible. So at the end of the year, we're basically at break even. And we are small. It was originally like the Williams School. I'll put a kudos into the Williams School. They did help us get started. So we have that homeschool atmosphere. It's small like they are. So 15 to 18 kids during a school year would be typical for us. Finances, that's why we added the ABA. We WISE certified up and add the tuition because that will help defray the tuition cost.
And Charlene, where are you located?
So we're right on Williams Trace Boulevard. So if you're in Highway 59, it's an exit. It's like this, I think it's the second Sugar Land exit coming from the north, maybe second or third from the south. And we're like within 2 city blocks of the exit. And right now we're in a strip center.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today, Charlene, and telling about True Night Academy. So if you have any questions about True Night Academy, please put those in the chat box. She'll keep an eye on that and see if there's any questions for her. And let's move on to the next one, Xavier Academy. We have, Ruben, is that right?
Yes, yes, hi, Dr. Diaz, yes.
Thank you, Dr. Diaz. If you could please tell us about Xavier Academy.
Hi, yes, good morning, everyone. Actually, good afternoon. How is everybody doing? So basically, Xavier Academy is an academy. We focus more on the mental health side. As we know, that's a huge ongoing crisis right now. Everyone is going through some type of a mental health crisis. And it is a broad spectrum, of course. And with our adolescents and youth, it has become, as we hear it more in the news lately, nationally speaking, it is a huge problem. Um, that being said, of course, they all have their special qualities about them, and we do believe in integration. So we believe in the fact that we all work in communities, we all live in communities, and everyone around us, no matter how much we try to hide it, we are going through something. We do have, whether it's depression, whether it's a social anxiety, and so forth. So in the real world setting that we as adults live in, we experience that and we work alongside others that are that way. So at Xavier, we believe in the same concept. We don't want to be considered a school specific only with working with students with those hidden talent labels, if we want to call them that way, but we want to integrate with all students, whether they have a label or not. And therefore we work with them. And the one thing that we provide to allow that integration to work and function is we offer a wellness center with mental health specialists 5 days a week on campus. So we're able to cater to a student who is going through a real-time crisis, because for them it is a crisis. They're an expert in the world, right? And so as they, for them, that is a crisis that they're going through, whatever it is. It could be social anxiety, it could be sensory based, and the mental health specialists will take the student, work with them, show them the coping skills. We're not trying to take away perhaps the mental health specialist they may have as a therapist outside of our walls, correct? We're just there to augment the needs that they have on campus so that they don't need to leave the campus. Many schools do not offer that, especially in the public schools and many private schools. They don't have that component. So what happens is they have to call the parent. Parent has to leave work. Parent has to now take the student out of the school. Then they have to make an appointment with the therapist. They lost 2 to 3 days of academics. And now we have a student that comes back to the class and they're now struggling. The anxiety level has just went off, this skyrocketed, because now they're trying to make it up. We try to provide a very comfortable environment where we can at least work with every student wherever they are in their journey, work from where they are at that moment in time, and then move forward with them. And every student is different. So in a classroom setting, we're about 8-to-1 ratio, and sometimes a little less than that, depending on the high school and the junior and the middle school side. So we work with them in so many different dynamics that they will experience their moments of need, and we can accommodate and help them with their coping skills so we can then put them back in the environment. So our tuition, as you see below, is in the it's $30,000 to $33,000 range, but that includes both the academics as well as the mental health specialists on the side. We do provide other activities throughout the life at Xavier. We believe in experiencing the world. We travel internationally with our students. We're about 160 students that are on our campus from 3rd grade to senior level. Our senior class just graduated. We're about 43, to give you an idea the size of where we are. We went to Italy in fall. We go to Costa Rica. We take students to the Galapagos Islands and so forth, so that we can get them out of the campus setting, out of that typical setting that they have, and then get them exposed to the real world environment. Because at the end of the day, we are a college prep school, and we want to get them prepared for college so that they're ready for that next step, because we want to get them out of the bubble, get them with the coping skills that they need, so that then they can move forward into the real world, if we want to say it that way, on their own. And that's our goal.
So you mentioned 3rd grade. How is that the lowest grade level that you have at your school?
No, we can go down to 1st grade, and we do it as a need come. So we have parents right now, we are getting a 1st grader in, so that we are accommodating to the 1st grade level. So we hire teachers accordingly. Keep in mind, when Xavier started 15 years ago, the need was more on the high school level, and over time, as mental health became more of an awareness, now more diagnoses are happening with the younger students. And so now we're able to accommodate, because now parents are seeing this is not working for my student, where my student is at now, and I need something else for them. And that's when we're accommodating. So it started off at the high school level, but now we're seeing more parents walking in the doors with the needs with the lower levels. And so we are accommodating accordingly. So we're growing, we're constantly growing.
And where are you located?
We are in the Galleria area. We are inside the loop off 610. And you've probably seen this at the building 1,000 times. So we are inside the loop 610 between Post Oak Boulevard and Memorial Drive. So if you were driving toward I-10 from Highway 59, we are in the last physical building on the right-hand side. So it's right before the Arboretum exit entrance. We're that solid glass, black glass building. The parking garages also have black glass, solid black glass, and it's an 8-story black glass building. That's where we're located on the 5th floor.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for being here for today and for presenting all this information. Again, if you have questions, please put them in the chat box, and Dr. Diaz will keep an eye on that for you and give you some answers if you need anything. All right, next we have the Joy School, and I think this is, yes, another one where we don't have a participant from the Joy School today with us, but you can contact Rob Wise. All of the contact information is there at the top of the screen, and you will receive these slides later on today. They prepare students with learning differences to return to traditional classroom settings by enabling them to reach their academic and social potential in a safe and supportive environment. So the cost is $49,365. There's a $2,500 enrollment fee. There is a lot of financial aid available, up to over $700,000 a year in need-based aid for qualifying families. So definitely, if you're interested, learn more about that, apply for their financial aid. They offer help support for grades K through 8. They do accept most learning differences. They're a non-therapeutic school for learning differences, and they mainstream kids back into the public and private traditional schools. So they're not trying to keep your student there forever. They're actually trying to help them out of the Joy School, which is a good thing. But again, if you have questions about the Joy School, when you receive these slides later on, you'll have all that contact info and you can reach out to them. Next, we have Tuttle, the Tuttle School, which is on Whittington Drive in Houston. You can go to their website, tuttleschool.org. They strive to provide an educational experience that capitalizes on the mind, body, and spirit of each student. The environment is highly structured, but also nurturing and fun. They provide an atmosphere where the children are able to express themselves, communicate effectively, and use the skills they learn every day to find independence and ultimately to succeed. It's for children with intellectual and developmental disorders. They support Down syndrome, autism spectrum disorder, cerebral palsy, Fragile X, Williams syndrome, basically anything. Prader-Willi syndrome is included. They do have financial aid available for their tuition of just over $28,000. And they work with people ranging in age from 5 to 25. You can contact Beth for help, Beth and Kondo, I hope. I hope I'm close on that. And reaching out to her, you can get some more information about the Tuttle School. Next, we have Michelle with the Gateway Academy. She's here with us today. So Michelle, please go ahead and tell us all about your programs.
Hi, I'm Michelle Joseph. I'm the head of school at Gateway Academy. Up here at the top, you'll see the information on contacting our admissions person if you're interested. We serve students in 6th grade through young adulthood that have learning and social differences. So we're looking at those guys with all kinds of learning disabilities, but also autism spectrum, ADHD. We've got a whole long list of alphabet names there.
Alphabet soup.
We are looking for students. Our goal is to bring in students, get them caught up on their academics, onto a path where they are prepared for the next stage of development. So will they be going to college? Will they be working? Will they be learning how to live independently? Just depending on what the family decides they want to do at that time. When they graduate from high school, we have our kids get a Texas diploma and follow the typical Texas diploma plan. And along with that, our biggest number one goal is to make sure that our students are ready to get out there and be employed. And so once they start their sophomore year, everything they do is planning for that employment piece. So not only are they continuing to take their academics that they need for that diploma, they also are doing internships that are out in the community. They work at HEB, they work at Cat's Coffee, they work at Memorial Hermann. We have a hotel that we work with. So there are all kinds of different placements that they can all go to, and we support them with a coach on site, doing that with them to be sure they understand what the job entails. We found over the years that we've graduated a lot of kids who could move on and get a job and go to college, those kinds of things, but they don't do it because they haven't had the experience. They don't know what to do next. And parents have a really hard time helping them with that because it doesn't look the same as a neurotypical kid when they get out of school. And so really teaching them how to work and what that really looks like, and giving the parents an experience with what that looks like to support that kid too while they're working. And how that's a little bit different. So really training them up there. That made a huge difference once we started doing that 5 years ago. Our kids now walk out the door and have a part-time job and can hold it and understand what to do and what that looks like. And that's what we need all along. That's what we all want for our kids, is to be able to be employed and find some significance. Most of our kids are capable of going on and doing some additional learning in the sense of that traditional college learning. They usually choose at first a path that's smaller, like a community college, something like that. Just because of the smaller classrooms they still kind of need that. And the community colleges are really nice here. HCC and Lone Star really do a great job of supporting and making sure that things are taken at the pace that our guys need. The goal though is for our guys to walk into the world and be able to fit in it, rather than walking around and going, I have a disability, you have to fit me and you have to change things for me. Even though there is some advocacy that goes along with that, they do have some things that they need to request as accommodations, but they need to be able to fit in the world. And that is what we're really focused on, is making sure they get that. So tuition is there on our list, $45,000 for the year, $500 for the year for 6th through 12th grade. And then our young adult program is a full day program also, and that is specifically geared towards employment, making sure that your mental health is really at a place where you can work and you can participate in these adult activities, getting them to that place. We have licensed counselors who work with them. We have speech pathologists that work with all of our guys and supporting them. And then also independent learning, so that they can, we help them move into apartments and get them set up and get them started as young adults. So that is Gateway Academy. We do a lot of different things that look like a typical high school. That's our goal, is to be a small typical high school. So we've got 85 students walking around, which is small, but at the same time, it's enough to give that special attention to our guys. And we've got prom and homecoming and all those wonderful things. We have a basketball team, we have a track team, we have a pickleball team, which is kind of new. It's kind of fun. So we're always coming up with new ideas too, based on what the kids are interested in and what we want to do next. So
Well, yeah,
give us a call if you want to.
Pickleball is getting more and more popular.
I know, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, so you mentioned job training and, helping them to be able to get and keep a job. Do you hook them up with employers as well? And the same thing for apartments. You talked about independent living. Do you help them find a job and an apartment?
We do both of those things. First, we do some internships to be sure they understand how to work, and we coach them through that. And then we help them get a job, and we coach them through that also. And we coach them through getting fired sometimes too. It just happens. But we'd rather that happen with us rather than out in the world where they don't know what to do about that. So we deal with all those kinds of things. And so, yes, it is our job to help them get set up, get in a place that's comfortable for them, and that their parents feel confident that they will be able to do this. So
Wonderful. And I see you're on Tacoma Street. What part of the city is Tacoma Street on?
So we are on the Brook Hollow, in the Brook Hollow office area. It's right between 610 and 290 where they split. So it's just a block off of 610. North 610. So yeah.
Fantastic. Is there a wait list for Gateway Academy?
Actually, for our middle school and high school, we have a few spots open. We actually are at budget right now for our coming year, so we don't need to accept any more students, but we do have a few spots that we could put a few people if they fit within those cohorts pretty well. So
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for being with us.
absolutely.
Michelle, again, thank you. And if you have questions, contact Michelle. All right, Bridge Prep. This is Bridge Prep Academy. You can contact Jackie Lockett with questions and learn more about their program. They say students who enroll at Bridge Prep may have learning differences and need instruction that is tailored to their strengths and interests and accommodate their challenges. Some may need executive function and study skills support. Others may simply be underachieving academically or socially in a large school environment. And they might need small individualized classes and one-on-one support. So they do grades 1 through 3 for a price of about $25,750 a year, and grades 4 through 12 for a little bit more, $32,000. But they do offer, grades 1 through 12 at their school. And they help with a wide variety of diagnoses. You can see them listed on the bottom there, even school-related anxiety, ADHD, high-functioning autism, all of those things. So if you're interested in learning more about Bridge Prep Academy, this contact information will be available to you. All right, next up we have the Caroline School. I believe we have Michelle with us.
Yes, thank you so much. Another Michelle.
Hey, that's a very popular name.
Yes, it is. I love it. Yeah, so I'm Michelle Andrade with the Caroline School. Our school was founded in 2002 by Elizabeth DeLuca because she was searching for a school for her daughter Caroline that had kind of multiple diagnoses and medical needs, and she just wasn't finding. So sorry, my allergies today, excuse my voice. She wasn't finding what she was looking for, and she founded the Caroline School to not only have her daughter's needs met, but also to celebrate her abilities and for her to feel that she was in a place that was safe and that she was with her peers. So we kind of continue that same mission and methodology today. We are licensed to serve students from birth to 21 years of age. This past school year, our youngest was 4 years old. We are opening a toddler room starting this fall, and that will start at 18 months. And we'll have 5 students in that room with 2 teachers. And so we're very excited about that. We do accept like all diagnoses. We specifically kind of specialize in students with multiple disabilities or medical needs that might include like seizures, G-tubes, mobility, or sensory impairments. The only type of student that we don't accept are students with aggressive behaviors, hitting, biting, or kicking others just because of our student population. We currently have 2 classrooms, like I said, and then we'll have a 3rd classroom this fall. We have 2 teachers. We can have up to 10 students in the current 2 classrooms that we have. But because we offer full-time and part-time enrollment, it usually is not the full 10 students every day. So we have a teacher and a teaching assistant in the classroom. Our school year is 10 months, kind of follows the same HISD calendar. But then we also have a summer program as well that typically will be 8 weeks. This year it's 6 weeks. And our school hours are from 9 to 3. We do offer before care from 8 to 9, and then after care from 3 to 5 for our working families. Our typical full-time monthly tuition rate is $2,500 a month for 10 months. We do have scholarships and financial aid available. It just kind of varies as to what we have. We currently don't have full scholarships available. We do have a lot of things integrated into the classroom. We have a music therapist. Well, this past school year, we had a music therapist come twice a month. We're hoping to bring back, we had before COVID, our art therapy and our pet therapy, and we're hoping to get those back as well because our students really enjoy that. We have a playground, kind of an adaptive playground with a playground structure, an adaptive wheelchair swing, and a musical panel, which kids really enjoy. We also have an on-site therapy clinic. So the Caroline School is part of Easter Seals. We're considered one of the programs of Easter Seals. And as part of that, we also have an on-site therapy clinic. So a lot of our students do get therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, or speech therapy through the on-site clinic, and that is billed through their insurance. We are located near the Galleria area, kind of on the corner of 610 and 59, kind of a side street off of West Park. And so we're really easy to get to. Kind of the enrollment process, we typically will call and talk to the families. Once we know that they're interested, then we'll do a tour so they can see the school in person. Then we'll have a half-day visit. And that's where your student will be able to come for a couple hours to be in the classroom that they'll be in. And then we'll offer enrollment after that part.
That's great. Thank you. I really like that you have full and part-time students. Do you accept any waiver programs for payment or anything like that?
We have had some parents in the past ask about that, but a lot of times because we're not certified under the state, that they won't allow us to accept the payments.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So when students graduate from our school, it's with a kind of a certificate.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that. Okay, next we have, oops, I went the wrong way. Next we have the hub. So thank you for being here with us, the hub.
Hi, everybody. I'm Julie Pomerantz. I'm with the Hub Houston, and I'm the admissions and outreach director. And thank you all to those of you who are attending today. And of course, thank you to Consolidated Planning Group for organizing this webinar. So first off, I would love to share the HUB is actually an acronym, which stands for Heard, Understood, Believed in. And we actually have 3 different campuses, but what I'm speaking to you about today is the school campus. Our other campuses are for post-high school, ages 18 and over. And we'll have a webinar through Consolidated Planning Group next week, where I'll be talking about our social club. It's called Club Hub. We have Life 101, which is our daytime employability program, and Aspire Accessories, again, ages 18 and over, where we have members that we refer to as our artisans who are creating magnificent items that are sold online and at markets. Aspire came on board with the Hub a year ago. We just celebrated our 1 anniversary. So we're very excited about that. But of course, back to the school, that'll be our focus for today. I always say we're small but mighty. So our population is around 30 students, and we could probably go up to maybe 34 or so, but we're very mindful and intentional about keeping our school small, because we really want the focus to be on knowing these students inside and out, knowing the families inside and out. Our executive director, our beloved Coach Russo, is very famous for saying that when a kid gets out of the car in the morning and she takes one look at them, she knows what kind of night they've had. So that's the type of place that we want to be. It's very relationship centered. Obviously, we have all of the academics being a school, but there's also a huge focus on what we refer to as our journey of belonging. The journey of belonging is our own social thinking curriculum that was developed for the Hub by 2 psychologists. And the journey of belonging is all about learning about the I side of the brain and the we side of the brain. The I side is going to be all about introspection, independence, creative thinking skills, all about kind of training your brain to look at the world in the most positive manner possible. The we side of the brain is all about being a good member of the community, being kind, tolerant of others. Everyone has their own kind of difference, so being very understanding of that, being a wonderful listener. There's a lot of project-based learning at the Hub, and it's all about getting along with others and working together. And what we're trying to do is to have them ready to go when they graduate from the Hub, that they're able to enter the community as a good person. If you think about it, in all of the work that we do in our lives, we're working with other people. So it's essential to get along and be kind, etc. Actually, kindness was our theme this year. Every year we have a different theme. So that's a very big deal for us at the Hub. About diagnoses, we work with, most of our students are going to be somewhere on the autism spectrum. However, with that said, we also work with students who come in with ADHD, anxiety, maybe mild depression, OCD, Down syndrome, Tourette's, any number of reasons why they would come to us. We even have one young man that started with us a couple of years ago who really doesn't have any of these diagnoses, but his older brother attended, and he saw how happy he was to get up every day and go to the Hub. And so he opted to come to the Hub. So we have a wide variety of students here. Right off the bat, when you arrive to the Hub, it's going to look very unique to you because we are in a home. It's a beautiful home. So it lends itself to being a very kind of more relaxed atmosphere, taking away all of that tension and stress that you might find in other schools. We have these huge buildings behind the home where most of their classes take place. The ratio is typically going to be about 1 teacher to 5 students. Sometimes it might be a little bit less, but they can really spread out in these large spaces. When they're in the academics, it's very individualized, it's very customized. As an example, we have a young man who turned 14 this past year who was really kind of off the charts in math. And so he will be in his math class, but on the side, he's doing some independent learning so he can really fly with the math, where others might struggle tremendously in math or perhaps science. And they'll be in a small group with others who are going to be similar to the level they are at. That way, we're very conscious of their self-confidence, their self-esteem. That's very important here. We also have just a variety of electives. We have leatherworks, we have woodworking at one of our other campuses where our students can go and take part in that. Art, music, drama, dancing. We have spinning cycles, yoga, mindfulness. We have culinary classes, we have a garden. So they're planting the garden, watching the growth, and then they're able to bring in the vegetables and herbs, what have you, into the culinary classes. So that's a lot of fun. We get to go to for our PE classes, we go to a YMCA down the street. So they get their fitness in, but we also have 30 minutes of movement every single day. We have a lot of fun at the hub, lots of celebrations. We take birthdays very seriously. We also have a big Halloween party at the beginning of the year, a big dance at the end of the year, Super Bowl party, Thanksgiving feast. It goes on and on and on. So a lot of celebration. And this is all about not only having fun, but they're practicing their social skills all at the same time. We also offer internships, especially as they're getting into their junior and senior year. Very much what Michelle was talking about at Gateway Academy, you know, where we're trying to help them really prep for the world thereafter, and helping them get part-time jobs, etc. Many of our students do go on to our Life 101 employability program, which is exactly that. It's helping them gain employment after they've left our high school. We do a lot of community service, a lot. And that is all about not only giving back to the community, but it's also about learning those essential work skills as they're giving back to the community. I will just leave you with letting you know just a little bit a part of our vision is that at the hub, each student is cherished just exactly as they are. And as social relationships flourish, their academic growth continues. So for instance, once they first arrive, and maybe there's a lot of anxiety and their confidence is really down, we're going to be really working on the social relationships. That's essential to begin with, and then the academics will just flow. And of course, professional skills are taught in practice here. So we do have work skills classes as well as life skills and the social skills and all the academics. So I invite you to reach out to me. And we are in Northwest Houston, off of the 290 heading out west. We're around the Bingle exit in that area, 43rd Street. And then I just wanted to end with thanking you all again for attending, and I'll take any questions you might have.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Julie, for presenting and for being here today. Again, put any questions or comments that you have into the chat box, please. I did want to ask something that I really didn't think to ask everybody, but I probably should have. So if you could put it into the chat, if you have a waiting list and how long that wait list might be for your school, that would be really helpful as I wrap up the rest of these slides. So when you're thinking about planning for the future for your special needs child, one thing that we know keeps everybody awake at night is, you know, who is going to take care of your child when you no longer can or you're no longer here. And what we advise is that people plan early for these things. You know, it's going to happen sometime. We are all going to come to a time when we are no longer here on this planet able to care for our loved ones. It's inevitable. So planning early will help everybody be able to deal with that easier. And when you're thinking about things like investments and life insurance, you know, of course, that life insurance is always less expensive when you're younger and healthier. Allison, the owner of our company, loves to brag that she locked in life insurance, permanent whole life insurance, when she was 19 years old. So she's able to pay, you know, very low rates. Man, if everybody had thought to do that when they were young, could you imagine how much better off we would be? So plan ahead, plan early. Think about these post-high school options that are available to you. There are so many great educational and vocational options. These are fantastic schools that you can go to. We've heard from birth to age 20. I think the highest one I saw was 25 or 28. That's a huge chunk of time that we're able to serve just through the schools here today. So there are a lot of options. There are vocational options. And then in the future, there's residential options, whether that's partial care or full care. Thank you, Charlene. Partial care, full care, residential communities are out there and available. And really think long and hard before you just say, oh, you know, my son's older sibling is going to take care of him. You know, you don't want that relationship to be obligatory or resentful. You want them to have a loving brother-sister, friendly relationship, and not put anyone into a position that they might not love. It can be hard. We know that. You know, we do a lot of webinars for free all the time. And these are some of the topics that we cover that are helpful to families. So, you know, thinking about the cost of care in the future, how much money do you need to save? What are we talking about here? We can help you figure those things out. We help families with the federal and state programs like the Texas waiver programs, SSI, SSDI, Medicaid, Medicare, things like that, where you can get help and benefits for your children. We help parents figure out where they can save money and hold that money like an ABLE account or a trust that will not jeopardize the benefits that your child can get. We help people understand beneficiary designations and, you know, knowing that you can't just leave your life insurance to your child with a disability, or else they will be removed from their other benefits. We've done webinars where we have attorneys with us to talk about guardianship and the different alternatives to guardianship. And things like today, the panel webinars are always wonderful, having so much great information. We'll send you this link, which will take you straight to all of our upcoming webinars. And there's also a link on the last page. Oh, here's our team. We're two husband and wife teams. So there's Allison and her husband, Jeff, they're in Sugar Land. And then there's my glamour shot and my bearded husband, Andy. We're in Missouri City. And then we have a wonderful support staff who help take care of all the paperwork and the things we need. So we will be reaching out to you to see if you would like to schedule your free consultation. We want to answer whatever questions you have, learn a little bit about you and your family, and then tell you how we can help and what we charge and things like that. It's usually about 30 to 45 minutes, no obligation at all, and we're not pushy, I promise. But we will call you to see if you want to set this up. We've also included, here's the link to that YouTube channel where we keep all of our webinars, our Instagram. We are now doing a podcast as well. So if you're listening on our podcast right now and you want a copy of these slides, just email us, contact@cpgcares.net, and we can get you the slides for this topic today. And then of course our Facebook page where we post great events and news articles and these webinars and all kinds of great stuff. So again, thank you to everybody who was here to present today and all of the attendees who joined us on your lunch break or whatever you're doing today. I hope you're having a great day. Definitely reach out to any of us if you have any questions. We are here to help and to educate and to advocate and to be here for you. So thank you, everybody. Have a great day. The sun is shining. It looks beautiful here in Missouri City. So go out and get some vitamin D on your skin. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody.